Yesterday's ghosts dancing past. Crystalline whispers in the void. Silver streaming stars destroyed. Down at Collaboration Station, breathing mercury sensation, paper wings and neon rain, threading needles through my brain. Through these veins, mirror children chase the light. Drowning in electric night. Origami souls unfold. Stories bought and stories sold. So these days, down at Collaboration Station, breathing mercury sensation, paper wings and neon rain, threading needles through my brain. Through these veins, kaleidoscope tears in azure rooms, butterfly wings on digital looms, paradise lost in pixelated blooms, while diamond children spin their tunes, spin their tunes. Hologram hearts pulse and fade. Through this masquerade parade, paper crowns and golden lies. Beneath these algorithmic skies, down at Collaboration Station, where shadow meets validation, paper wings and neon rain, threading needles through my brain, till morning breaks the spell at last, and rainbow children slip past, slip away. Whisper me a static lullaby, as tomorrow's colors die. Colors die. Violet petals drift through glass. Yesterday's ghosts dancing past. Crystalline whispers in the void. Silver streaming stars destroyed. Down at Collaboration Station, breathing mercury sensation, paper wings and neon rain, threading needles through my brain. Through these veins, mirror children chase the light. Drowning in electric night. Origami souls unfold. Stories bought and stories sold. So these days, down at Collaboration Station, masquerade parade. Paper crowns and golden lies beneath these algorithmic skies. Down at collaboration station, where shadow meets validation, paper wings and neon rain, threading needles through my brain, till morning breaks the spell at last, and rainbow children slip past. Slip away, whisper me a static lullaby, as tomorrow's colors die. Colors die. Violet petals drift through glass. Yesterday's ghosts dancing past. Crystalline whispers in the void. Silver streaming stars destroyed. Down at collaboration station, breathing mercury sensation, paper wings and neon rain, threading needles through my brain. Through these veins, mirror children chase the light, drowning in electric night. Origami souls unfold, stories bought and stories sold. Down at collaboration station, breathing mercury sensation.
Hello, good afternoon, good morning. Yeah, I'm excited for the space. It's been a while.
Hello there.
Hi. And I see you've got the poll already ready to go. That's
I do.
exciting.
I do. And they just added like a thing to desktop so that I can switch mics, so that's interesting.
Oh, like
It's like
switch.
a drop down thing right next to the mute button.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
yeah, maybe they have a thing for video now too, so you can swap video feeds and go from, camera to share or something. That'd be great. That would make things a lot easier.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I don't see anything like, oh wait, what's this? It's manage space. Okay. Interesting. All right. And I actually switched the captions on with Gary, which is doing the screen recording, and it looks really good. Like the captions feature, it has the name of the speaker, or like I can't click on the name, but it has the name, my little picture, and my handle. So that's really cool. I'm going to definitely be using that for my screen recordings of spaces and stuff.
Yes, it's nice.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Things are looking bright here in the future of X. It just, they keep shipping stuff constantly. I see stuff in my feed all the time with new features and all the people, engineers and developers and stuff that are on X and just like crowdsourcing ideas. It's just so exciting. I love all of it.
They didn't forget about us. It's nice. Feels good.
That's nice. Yeah. Yeah. And the topic today, I picked how do you use video and streaming in your content? Because like we have something kind of coming up that we're really excited about. So I was like, okay, this will be an excuse to talk about it. If like, no one comes in, we can at least just talk about it. And also just, I love these spaces for hearing what other people are doing and getting ideas for myself as well as maybe dispensing advice if people are interested in getting into using more video and live streaming. So, oh, and we got Rich here, so I'll invite him. I'm glad he could make it today. It's been just so chaotic with our schedules. So, for me, since Thanksgiving, I have just been like very busy. And then the time after Christmas was basically just catching up on everything that I neglected between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And then got to come visit Christopher in Arizona, which was just an amazing trip. Just really so much fun, such a great time. But this won't be a space about that unless we want it to be.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Hi, Rich. So good to see you.
Hello, hello. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, or whatever it is, wherever you are.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Yeah, we missed you so much.
I'm here.
And
I'm here. You know what's funny? I slept in. It is noon. It is noon today, and I slept until noon. And I just got sat down on my computer. I'm like, oh crap! I forgot about the space. So like, I quickly logged on, and hey, it seems like I made it just in time.
yeah, thanks for joining us. I mean, I know your schedule's been all over the place. You've got so many things going on, and so have I, and so has Christopher and stuff. So it's just been like pretty chaotic, and that's okay. Like it's just this is really reality of these spaces. So when you guys can come, I so much appreciate it. And then of course the amazing listeners we've got down there. We got Andy, we got Aura, Altered Alley, Animal World, and I see Alicorn, which I think is a new listener, or I haven't met you yet. So, of course, any of you are welcome to come up and chat about, whatever you got going on for 2025. We did a little bit of a short space last week to just talk about a little bit about the excitement for 2025. And this one more about like how you're going to use video and live streaming, or if you're already doing it or you're thinking about doing it, you want to chat about that. But really, it's always an open forum here if you want to talk about what you got going on. So everyone's always welcome, and we appreciate even if you don't want to speak right away, you can come up and be a speaker just to help get some visibility on the space. That's a really helpful thing to do. If not, that's okay as well. Please send out a retweet for the space and drop a comment below in the replies. You're welcome to, this space isn't about like spamming or whatever, but it kind of is also. Like, I don't mind if you share, like, you got an upcoming space coming up, or you've got a project you're working on, or you're like looking for collaborators, or maybe you are a collaborator on something. We keep it pretty open ended here just to kind of just build everyone's voices here, because what collaboration is about is just like meeting other accounts and cool people that you could potentially work with. And so it's very much an organic type of networking that I like to promote, or like at least utilize on this platform, because I think the algorithm is very good at that, kind of delivering who you should be working with. Finding them is a different story. So we use Spaces to kind of do that. So I hope that makes sense. I don't know. Like for me, it makes sense. I've met the most amazing people on here through Spaces and through my own algorithm. So, I try and utilize both of those things. And sharing below in the replies is one way to get out there, guys, because people will listen to the replays of this space. If you come up and share and you have something interesting, post about it in the replies so people can reference it later. If you can't come up and speak, get involved that way by just sharing like, hey, this is what I'm working on. And, I will talk about it too, up on stage on your behalf if you can't speak, if it's something that's like kind of cool or interesting that I feel like I want to share. So yeah, that's pretty much the very vague, wide open premise for everyone to get involved with. But we will be kind of focusing on video and streaming. And great to see Liz up here. Welcome. We've got Soul Worker down there listening. Hippie Mikey, J Ray, and you're also all welcome to come up and speak if you're interested in sharing anything you got going on. All right. With that, we'll go to the poll, which is, some say, the most vital part of our spaces.
Absolutely is. All people say that. Everyone says that.
Everyone's always talking about it. So please share with us, Christopher, this all important poll that we need to make sure we participate in during the space.
Okay, today's poll is, what is the largest animal you could fight hand to hand and win against? And your options are goat, goose, sheep, or other. And if you want to do other, it's pinned at the top here. You can reply and yeah, let us know what's going to be, a kitten, something like that. I feel like I could fight a sheep. I would destroy a sheep.
Yeah, I think once you catch one, yeah, the catching is the hard part. I think with sheep, I watch a lot of sheep videos. I would say
they like tire you out, and then just kind of running you over.
Yeah, but we'll get into that more. I don't want to sway the poll. I don't want to corrupt the results. I do take these very seriously. So make sure you get there. It's up in the Jumbotron and in the replies. And if you are unable to reply to the space or comment on the poll or whatever, it's because you're not a member of our community. So be sure to join the community so you can participate that way. And I will make sure I get you added. The community rules, or as far as like who we welcome, are pretty broad, but I do like to see you're an active content creator on the platform, generally adding content. Reposting a lot probably won't get you in. So make sure you're adding something to X. You're excited about being an active creator on this platform. That's who we're looking for in the community, and that's pretty much the only requirement to join. So if you want to do that, I will maybe I'll share that down below as a link so people can easily just tap away. Let's see. And Rich, I don't know, like want to do a quick catch up with you. I know you usually kind of have a question for the space. I just came up with how do we use video and streaming. So I don't know, is that an interesting topic for you? You want to share anything about it? I don't know. I want to get you involved today.
No, that works for me. I failed. I did not come up with a question for today's space, so I like the question. How do you use video and streaming? Because I think it's becoming more and more important on X, especially because they seem to be pushing more live video content recently. And XTV did come out a few months ago, and we haven't seen any further pushes from it since then. Like, I still don't think it's on Apple TV. I don't think it's on Roku, and they still don't have like 4K video quality. But I think they'll get there eventually. So yeah, now's the time. If you're unfamiliar with video or streaming, now's the time to get yourself familiarized with it and get ready, because once they do give it the full push, like you're going to want to be out there in front, leading the way. Which is not me. I don't do video streaming. I do create a lot of video content, It's mostly AI video content, stories, music videos, and stuff like that. But I do think that I think you're going to have an edge if you're doing real content. I just do. I think that, you know, if you're putting yourself in front of the camera, I think that's going to give you an edge.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
100% agree with that.
And we do love edging here at the collaboration station.
Yes.
I'll just let that sit out there for a minute there.
Yeah, drink it in.
Yes. So now that I'm completely distracted by the most amazing thing that Rich just shared, because I wanted to actually add on to that because it was well put. I do kind of like a full pronged approach to social media. So like I am streaming this to YouTube right now. I have 2 YouTube channels, so I'm streaming them to both. I'm also streaming this to Facebook. Rich, you got a hot mic.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. I was like, maybe I could just leave it and see what happens. And I'm also streaming to where else? YouTube, Facebook, and X. So I'm also streaming this space to X. Just trying to get more reach for it however I can. And it's kind of a cool strategy that I like to implement. And then I also want to have more video spaces. I did one in December. I really enjoyed it. I found it a lot of fun, a way to interact. My co-hosts don't like it so much, so that's unfortunate. But you know, I'm probably going to be doing more of those, and also live streaming. So I'm going to be doing my regular live streaming. I was doing that over the summer. I really enjoyed it, so I'm going to be bringing that back. Christopher and I are going to be doing like a recorded show, but with like kind of a live feel to it. And that's just so that hopefully we can adapt it to just being in a live stream show, but we do need to work it out so it makes sense and it fits right and everything. So it's going to be like recorded and maybe a little bit of editing. So like I'm doing everything.
We could always play it live and then react to people responding. Also react to a reaction.
Yeah, there's so many tools at our disposal. And yeah, I'll get to the hands just in a second here. I just want to get the vibe going for the space here. So, and welcome anyone to speak. So yeah, you keep your hand up, and anyone who's joined us just now wants to come up and share anything that they got going on or how they want to utilize videos and streaming in their content, or maybe you already are, can tell us what you're doing. We can all learn from that and become better at it. So yeah, I'm just like attacking it on all fronts, utilizing all the tools that we have available so that yeah, I can see what fits. And I think a little bit of everything kind of fits for me because I'm all over the place. Yeah. All right. So that's my my speech for now, and we can get into more details about the show that Christopher and I have planned coming up. We've posted about it. He's posted about it today. So I don't know. Maybe you could share that down in the Purple Pill too, Christopher.
Sure.
So people can look at. And we've got new friends up here. We got old friends up here. So I'll go to the hands first and say hi. So Jess Fields, a new person here on stage. I don't think we've met before. I want to say hello and give you the mic and share whatever you want to say or add. Welcome.
Hey guys, well I think I saw this because I follow and subscribe to Rich, who is awesome, and have followed both you guys too, Chris and Cate. I host X Spaces sometimes. You know, I really generally probably more of a commentator. I get pulled into a lot of Mario's spaces and Diligent and Penny, who run some really large spaces too. And I've been in public policy and marketing for decades, so I have some experience there. And I get pulled into stuff. But, you know, one of the things, so the reason why I jumped into this space, really, I don't have a ton of time to be here. I really wanted to ask and understand a very specific question and dilemma about the video streaming. So, you know, I had experimented with TikTok Live before, And I was curious because I have clients that we do marketing and strategy for. So I was kind of like trying to figure out how TikTok Live worked, and eventually understood kind of how to make that work. Although I didn't really want to do it as a creator myself, right? But I figured out, like on Live, for example, if you play like a game or something, like I did this Guess the Cities game one time. We had like 4,000 people on a live stream, and then they'll give you gifts and stuff like that. I didn't really ask anybody for gifts because frankly, that's not my bag. Okay. But I understood after a little bit of time of playing with that, kind of how that worked. So when I saw recently Alex Finn, who also does a lot of content stuff on X, right? I saw him do a space and I subscribed to him, and he had the video thing set up where it was him on the video in the space, right? And then surrounded by the bubbles. So then I went in and figured out, okay, I can start a space and then I can be on video too, except for some reason when I did it the other day when we were experimenting with this, and I can't remember, Jamo, who's here, is a lot of on a lot of our spaces, but basically it showed up. There was a very tiny little a very small box with, I mean, it was like the size of the bubble, right? But it was a square, and it was my video stream. And then there was a big gray box. Yeah, I'm going to sound like a preschooler here describing this. I'm sorry, but that like that's basically what it was on the left side. So then when you went and expanded the gray box, you know, my little tiny box maybe got slightly bigger, but it was still a tiny little box like up in the corner. So then a couple of the guys in the space, you know, we were like trying to figure out, okay, how can they join? Because obviously it seems like multiple people could join this, like a Zoom call or something. And that would be really cool. But then we couldn't figure out how to get them in. So even though they were premium plus, they couldn't seem to get in. And so we were trying to figure out, like, is it a subscriber count thing? I mean, I don't have subscriptions active yet. I don't know if X will ever approve me. At least not before the world melts. But I am monetized, so I didn't know if that had something to do with it. So like, how does this work? Because like, what I would like to be able to do, like the other day, for example, like I live 5 minutes from where the terrorist in New Orleans was from, and I thought, man, it would be really interesting to go over there and do some citizen journalism, but I couldn't figure out how to get this thing working, and I didn't have time the other day anyway. But there's plenty of things like that. I mean, I'm in a major city, and I'm always willing to go somewhere. And had this idea maybe I'd go to Canada and bother some Canadians. That's always fun, right? I mean, you know.
Yeah, they might be American soon. Who knows?
Exactly. Well, you know, but that's what I'm trying to, is like, how do I do that? Like, if I
Yeah.
wanted to have, like, and also Alex, when he did it, like, it was the whole box was his video stream. But like,
Yeah.
I noticed when you do like the normal video stream on here, you can't interact with the host in the same dynamic way that you can like on a space. So I would definitely prefer the space. And then I think the other question I would have for you guys is, it's my understanding now, though, having just said that, that the video streaming apparently is somehow monetized on here, but that the spaces are not yet monetized. So I would love to get an answer to all those things if possible. They're probably right in front of my nose, but I had folks looking and we couldn't figure it out.
Yeah. So, okay, these are great questions, and I can help quite a bit with this because I experiment, like I said, with everything on here. And I do like the video spaces. Now, the idea of it is amazing. The implementation of it is not so great. So, what you're talking about with the little box and all this stuff when you're hosting it, that is just what you see on your end. The other people do not see that. So it's just this weird functionality in as the host when you are the person on the screen.
So what you're saying is the other folks would see
Just the normal thing. Yeah.
the whole thing. Okay, the whole
Yep.
box would be video, but they would still see the little bubbles of every person in the space
Correct.
around there. Okay. So
Yeah.
how can I add other people to that, Kate, or is that not possible right
Yeah.
now?
So as co-hosts, other co-hosts can so if you're having a conversation with your co-host, it'll switch to the other co-host video feed if they have it on. So they have to switch it on with them. And then I know some devices it doesn't work. So I believe right now, if you want to have a co-host be able to have a video like the host does in the spaces, they have to be on their phone for one. I don't think it works on desktop. But again, this stuff is always adapting and changing. Like I say this today, it could be
So
different tomorrow,
sure.
right?
So we were trying it, and the guy, Jambo will know this guy. Robert J was who it was, and he had premium. You have to have premium plus, right, Kate? I think for that, or
I don't think for spaces. I think that is only required if it's actual live streaming. So
I see. Okay,
there's
so
those two features.
I
Yeah.
got you. So on the space thing, basically, when the co-host comes in, do they have to toggle it at that point, or can they go in and somehow toggle it during the actual space, like after they've already accepted co-host?
Right. Yeah, I know. I have to. I'm trying to remember. Aura did a video space recently. Maybe she knows if she did toggle around with the co-host. I know they have to switch it on, but I believe that it's just like in spaces where when someone else starts speaking, you see that the little waveform forms, and I think it just
Right.
goes automatically to whomever's speaking, if I remember correctly. And
Well, I
maybe
mean,
Liz
like, I
knows.
would really love to have the functionality, for example. So, like, I'm doing next week a space with this guy, Congressman Self, who basically was one of the 3 Republicans that voted against Johnson, and then he switched his vote. So he's a pretty interesting guest. But like, I would love to have him, for example, on video. But I know that, like, if I made him a co-host, you know, he's an older guy. He'd be like, "What in the heck is this?" You know, I mean, he's an old ex-military guy. He wouldn't know what it was. So, I'm wondering, like, is there a way to have somebody come up as like a guest who is, you know, like for example, just say, "Okay, you're on the speakers panel. Now I'm going to give you video access, and then maybe I could take it away." Because obviously, when you create somebody you make somebody a co-host, they have like godlike power over the space. You know, I mean, they can't end the space, but they could boot people out and all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, even if by accident, or mute everyone. So, is there a way to do that, or does that not exist at this time?
I can chime in here, Kate, because
Thanks for the
Please.
hearts. I feel very affirmed and validated.
Oh, can he hear me? Can Jess hear me? Jess, hello?
Jess,
hello?
I have Liz speaking. She can answer some of these. Were you able to hear her or not?
No, I
can't hear
actually
me.
couldn't. I probably
All right.
should drop down to listener, and she can then I can
Well,
hear her. So yes,
okay.
thank you guys. I will drop down and drop right back. No, I had no idea that you're speaking, Liz. But
Oh no, that's
all right,
that's
switching down.
That's
Okay,
all
well,
right. Appreciate that. And yeah, these are fantastic questions. So I
yeah.
definitely want to get into it.
I'll hold off then until he's able to take a lap. So that got this guy. Sorry, I'm in the car and this dude almost like
Whoa.
sideswiped me. Holy
Oh no.
shit. That was fucking crazy. I'm sorry. I'm just in the right lane. I'm not doing anything crazy, but he turned left and he was about to turn left like right into me. Okay, sorry. Heart is beating a little faster now, but I'm fine. Everything's good.
Okay, we're glad you're okay. That would
Yes,
be
we're
so
glad you're
wild
okay.
to
I
have,
just
like,
I had to mash that accelerator button in mid sentence. Like it's just like an instinctual thing. I'm like, I'm not looking to get sideswiped here.
all right,
Okay.
Jess, are you able to hear Liz now?
Yeah, she sounds like she's in a very dangerous traffic situation, but otherwise, yes.
I was in a potentially dangerous traffic situation, but very happy to report I'm not anymore. So, anyways, Jess, hello. Want to say hi to you. I've seen you in a couple of spaces, and I always enjoy what you have to say, and I love your questions. And I wanted to let you know that my understanding from the video spaces that I have been a listener in, and I've spoken to the hosts who have conducted them, is that only the hosts and the co-hosts can have the video feed. And it does toggle, just like Kate anticipated, it toggles back and forth between them when each of them is speaking. Just like the purple dots are jumping when various people are speaking in a regular space. But only the hosts and co-hosts can turn on that video feed. No one else can do that. So I just
Yeah,
wanted
and
to,
I do think that makes sense on a level, right? Like, I just want to be able to give somebody the ability, right? Like, but at the same time, I mean, I think all of us, anybody that's ever hosted a space, you know, I usually put Jammo at the entrance to the club, like the bouncer, and he kind of helps with this a lot. But we have you know, people that'll come on and they'll try to promote porn or something. So I mean, it would be really disastrous if you had a video space where anybody could just jump in and stream something. I mean, they could even put illegal content or something. So yeah, we definitely don't want that. But at the same time, I would love to be able to have a speaker who's a guest, and I guess that's just not a feature yet. Do we know about the monetization of these things respectively, though, as well? Because that's helpful, Liz, and I appreciate that. I mean, I'm not on this just for money. I'm actually on here to find clients, and I've found some great folks on here, and also just to have fun. This is more fun than going to a Rotary meeting or a chamber meeting and listening to a bunch of old people fart and eat, tenderloin or whatever. So,
Yeah. So I found in the same bed as you. I don't have the subscriptions enabled, which would be amazing because we can all see the power of that, like being able to hold subscriber spaces and like all this other stuff within that paywall. But for just regular spaces, I found, because I am monetized through the creator program that way, as far as like just getting the 2-week payouts, that most of my engagement comes from spaces, meaning people are in the replies engaging with the space. And so that's where that's working for me, because I'm mostly doing spaces. Well, I haven't in the past few weeks just because of the holidays and a lot of travel and stuff. But normally my schedule is like I'm doing multiple spaces a week, and I'm engaging with people in the replies and getting followers that way, right? Getting people into my community and all this other stuff. And that's turned out to be where a significant portion of my payout is coming from, not necessarily from my just regular posts on my
right,
feed.
but it's my understanding. I hate to. I'm sorry to
Oh no,
cut you there.
please.
It's my understanding that video streaming somehow that is monetized though, like the normal video streaming. Is that
I don't
true?
know about that. I don't think it is. I think certain creators on here, that are, with the millions of followers, have some deals, potentially, but I don't. It's all, I think, is in the engagement with verified accounts. So
Well, when Spaces gets so, I mean, I think
yeah, I hope
you
all
might
this
be.
just adapts, because like
Well,
Spaces,
yeah,
it's so clear how engaged people get with it, and it's
yes,
just such a no-brainer for them to
it
find a
is.
way to actively monetize it for us.
Yeah, could you
So
imagine how, I mean, when if you have like the time people are spending in Spaces, you could figure that out. You could talk about, like, for example, I mean, if Joe Rogan had a space, my gosh, or something, like take any of the top 20, 30 podcasters and have them do a space. But I mean, I have been fortunate I don't even know how this happens really, but I mean, I'll throw a space together. Sometimes 5 people will be there. And sometimes we've had over 100 or, more in a space. And it's really just, it seems almost like random chance. But I think that there's definitely right now no clear reason to overdo hosting a space, to hold it open if it gets bigger, unless you just really want more engagement. But I think if they started to say, hey, we're going to monetize the amount of time people spend, and yeah, that will bring over podcasters. I mean, I used to do, for a little while, I did a podcast, an actual podcast, and I think that's kind of what you're doing here, which is really cool. And at the same time, like, we should be able to have more of these kinds of discussions where they're just, spur of the moment, like what Mario does. Oh, there's a breaking news thing. Let's do a space. And I think if you give people an incentive, then there will be more of that. And I think we do need more of that. So I would love, if anybody knows about the video monetization thing on the streaming. I had heard that, but I'm kind of a Luddite. I don't know. I mean, I don't watch TV. I'm sitting here in the basement, not quite. But yeah, thanks guys. I appreciate it. Fun to talk with you, and always happy to pop by. If I ever see y'all doing this, I'll try to pop in and hopefully add value and not detract.
Jess, I have a prediction. I feel like if you start hosting video streaming spaces and you get our buddy Jamo up there as a bouncer, and I might be willing to throw myself in as the co-host, I think they're going to start monetizing like right quick. Although it kind of depends on one critical factor here. So I have a question for you. Did you answer the poll that Cate posted? Because I feel like it all hinges on this.
It
No,
does.
I didn't. Where's the poll?
Inquiring minds want to know. It's in the purple pill.
Okay,
So
in the purple pill. All right.
Yep. I'm
all
gonna
right.
Bottom right,
Thank you, Liz.
I gotta
where you put
properly vet
little.
this guy, Kate. I just
Yeah,
say he
that's
sounds
true.
good, looks
We-
good. I
So
think everything's awesome.
I
So
probably could. It's hard to say. I mean, I think hand to hand. Well, you know, the thing is, okay, guys, look, a goat and a sheep. I mean, all right, let's get real talk here. Okay. I'm from Texas. Goat and sheep, guys, are often roughly the same size. Okay. So I mean, that's kind of like saying, you know, would you rather fight a dog or a coyote? I mean, it's kind of like, okay, well, like let's talk
Well,
about size.
a lot of that is demeanor, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so and then also, like, I think if anybody's ever been cow tipping, which of course I haven't, you would know that you could easily beat a cow, which is far bigger than these animals, right? So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess I would put the other, and let's go ahead and
Is he
Oh,
still talking?
he must have got a phone call or something.
No, gosh dang it. All right.
yeah, no, I think cow is a safe
Oh,
answer. Everybody in this space could beat a cow. All you do is you push. You could do it, I promise. Now,
I don't
if
know.
it's a
I've
bull,
read
you
to,
don't want to screw with that for sure. Don't screw with a bull.
yeah,
And
those cattle they have out there, like, you know, that don't see a human for a good solid 2 years of their life. Oh my goodness. I've been out in Nebraska and it scared the crap out of me.
yeah,
Yeah.
Jess,
don't mess with farm animals that you don't know, unless you really just don't like somebody.
and
So
don't mess with Texas, bro. I'm born and bred Texan girl here as well. And I mean, shit didn't start getting weird until I moved to Kentucky in high school, my freshman year, and I got asked out on a date to go cow tipping of all things. And I laughed at this guy. I laughed in his face because I thought, like, no offense to him, I thought I was the butt of the joke because I'm like, oh, you people don't really do that. You know, that's not like a real, that's like a made up thing. It's not a made up thing, it's a real thing.
yeah,
So,
you should have asked about noodling catfish. That's even weirder than that.
oh my goodness, I don't even
But that's
know.
more of a southern. That's more like, people in L.A. do that. Lower Alabama, of course.
Oh, I was like, what? LA?
Yeah, go on YouTube after the space guys and check out catfish noodling. It's gonna change your life.
That's
That's
one way to
scary.
say it, Kate. Change your life. You know what? People die noodling catfish. I mean, can you imagine what that would be on the grave? He died doing what he loved.
And this is why catfish is not on Kate's bowl. So, case closed.
See, and that's why I want to do monetized video. Could you imagine how fun it would be to find some old boy, just go down to the local DQ, let's go down to the bayou, and let's look at some noodle. I'm gonna pay you $5, and I'm gonna get you now I got my Cajun accent on here. I'm gonna give you $5, and I'm gonna get you a blizzard. I like them Oreos in that blizzard there. They go down there, they go get them big old catfish down here. I know they great old hole here. They
Oh
big
my
old boy down
God.
here.
Oh my God.
See, wouldn't that be fantastic?
How many voices do you have in your reservoir, Jess?
Too
Because
many.
I'm
Too
like,
many.
this dude's impersonations right now. He's finer than a frog hair split 3 ways. Oh my God. I've never heard you do this. That's hilarious.
Yeah, we do a lot of voices. It's a lot of fun, but no, I mean, like, really, that, like, everything. So kind of back the train. Let's move this train back onto the tracks. I think that, Kate, you're exactly right. And this is the last thing I'll say. I do have to go. But I think that, like, you're exactly correct about the importance of video on this platform. And, obviously, I think several of us here, we maybe make our living, or or maybe some of you guys do supplemental income, or side hustle or stuff with social media or marketing or whatever. And it is how I make a living. But I think, but I'm not as a creator. But what I see going forward is there's going to be a real emphasis on video across multiple platforms, and you're seeing every platform is scrambling to get there. And what I've encouraged to the ex folks that I know, like Kettlebell Dan, for example, and he actually really liked this idea, but who knows? I said, let's try to see if we couldn't even do AR and VR type experiences that we could potentially put into a post. So that, for example, if you had AR on, Adobe has a new tool called Aero that they're working on. And unfortunately, they haven't come out with it for the Vision Pro yet. I bought a Vision Pro for a lot of money. And then they didn't come out with this yet. But, like, could you imagine, for example, if you put a piece of content together that was effectively a 360-degree piece of content, or maybe 180 or something, with your phone, and then you go into that world that you've just created, and you tag information in that world, right? So think about if you own a store and you want to showcase, let's say you own a clothing store, I mean, whatever, and you wanted to showcase like in the new, display in your store, and you could kind of like showcase the wall of clothing where somebody could go in there and they could kind of be part of that, even on their phone. But I think we're all going to, in 5, 6, 7 years, these headset devices are going to be very common. Also, I think as we go to FSD, full self-driving capabilities, we're going to start seeing a lot more heads-up displays in vehicles that are providing information. So, for example, if you're driving on a freeway, you might see on a billboard something that is actually on your heads-up display in the car. It's not actually on the billboard, but it'll just show something that's a dynamic piece of content that changes based on your position relative to it. And that's an example, that's a simple example, but I think that like AR, VR, and this type of experience where the content is now becoming very much more interactive, I think that's where things are going. I think TikTok was kind of an early example of that, obviously. In some ways, Twitter was. I think what Elon's doing with X, especially when payments comes out, is he's going to create a situation where you're going to be able to do transactions, with vendors and other folks, basically based on geolocation, based on, content. And if you have X Premium Plus, I think it is, you get to play with this thing called Radar, which tracks trends. It's extraordinary. I mean, it really is. And imagining for a moment how that will change how people interact with content and understand what trends are going on and what's exciting, what's new. I think that's where it's going. I think video is going to be really, really hot. I think the AR thing is going to be really hot. And I think all of you guys here are at the cusp of it, because obviously Cate and Christopher know what they're talking about. And I already know that Rich knows what he's talking about. Rich is the coolest dude in town, man, making some really, really fun stuff. So, all right, guys, we'll have a wonderful day and hope to see you all soon. I'll listen for just a little bit, but thanks for having me on, Cate. And yeah, if anybody knows about the live streaming thing, then maybe they can pipe in. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks so much for that stuff, Jess. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming to the space. I just love it when people just kind of pop in here and we get to meet them. So some people who are, established on here, growing on here, new accounts, like we get all kinds. And you cannot look at someone's like follower count and figure out who these people are. You have to get into spaces, you have to be chatting and find out, because there's all kinds of new people coming here who are established on other platforms, who are experts in different things in professional fields. Maybe they were killing it on LinkedIn and decided to come here and be cool instead, all these other things. So
What are you trying to say? You can't be cool on LinkedIn?
And
Who-
I totally agree with what Jess was saying about like the future of this technology and where it's headed. I don't think it is like either or. You're either going to be in the real world or you're going to be in the metaverse. I think it's going to be that kind of combination of things, kind of like how the phone and social media just became like slowly integrated and part of our lives. It'll be that kind of same way. And the way he described it was perfect. What do you think of that, Christopher?
I'm just thinking about what the coolest person on LinkedIn would be. What would that even look like?
There's a prompt for for Grok right there, a generated image. I expect you to be doing that. So, but I want to like, I know Jess kind of just like took over the space a little bit there, but like I didn't really want to interrupt or cut him off because it was actually very good information and questions he was asking. And so I did appreciate that. So sorry to the other hands that jumped in. And thanks, Liz, for providing your insights on the video spaces, which I think once they get kind of dialed in, nailed down, they are better. They're definitely a lot better than they were 6 months ago. But once they just get to that point where it's like, oh, it does those basic features that we need as content creators, it's going to be amazing. And I'm excited. So I'm going to be starting to do more of those just so I can keep up to date with those changes and features as they come out. I want to say hi to Alicorn, who came on up here, a new speaker. I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly. So I just want to say hello and give you a chance to speak. Thank you for joining us.
Hey guys, it's an honor to be able to speak. I appreciate the opportunity, and I believe the conversations that have happened prior to me speaking have been very enlightening. I'm excited.
Awesome, awesome. So yeah, thanks for coming and listening and jumping up here and speaking. So I just when I have someone new up here and they don't just take over the space like like Jess did, I like to get to know you a little bit. So why are you here on X? What content are you creating? What are you hoping to do here so that you can kind of introduce yourselves to us and the community here and the people listening? So because we're all about kind of collaboration, but you can't collaborate or get to know anybody unless you know exactly what they're doing or hoping to do here. So I'll give you a chance to speak to that, and then we'll go to Chris.
Thank you so much. So I follow Altered. Altered is my guy that kind of guided me into this just by him being here. Um, and I just wanted to touch on a little bit about the creatives, the future, AGI, and how all this comes together. So just a little bit of background of my company. We focus on AI and quantum. We use AI and quantum in tandem to solve very complex problems for our clients. We also use it to create tools, and we also use it for the stock market as well, because quantum has a parallel execution tasks and so forth. I don't want to be a nerd, but I just wanted to say this. Just kind of touched on it really well. What you're noticing is with streaming and video is the emergence of all types of technology merging together. So what I mean by that is you kind of have this meta verse style of existence, and then you have the streamers, and then you have the content creators, and then you have the AI bros that come in, right? Um, so all that comes together is leading to the Oasis. I posted about 2 hours ago a link explaining this concept. So basically, it would be a world where multiple creators have the ability to build their own worlds. We use digital twins to accomplish this. So, for instance, if in the United States and in the world that we live in the physical world, there are countries, there are states, there are cities and towns and so forth and so on. All those things will be in the Oasis at various styles, just depending on how the content creators are situated. Um, so, this really comes to the forefront once everybody has more access to AGI. We were able to obtain AGI, ASI, and we recently broke through Singularity. Um, so it's been very exciting times, and I know a lot of people have questions, and I love to share and add value wherever I can. And I believe in the next 12 to 24 months, you'll start seeing a lot of people truly understand how to pull this all together, because right now it's very fragmented.
Wow, wow, very cool. And yeah, we do get some serious nerds in this space, so don't be afraid to nerd out. I probably won't understand it, but
Singularity. He said it. I love that. Like you say singularity, all the guys get it, and all the women are like, "What the hell are they talking about?"
So, like, Singularity gives you the ability to
I don't think it's
have
going to help. It's not going to help.
one singular entity of AI. So let's say AI comes together, you have all these algorithms, but you have to build systems. It's not enough to just use ChatGPT as is. ChatGPT just offers you the bare minimum. It's like I use the analogy of building a cake. So ChatGPT is the batter, and you as the creative or the architect, I like to call it AI architects. You have the ability to then um, create more AIs within that LLM, more algorithms, and then combine that and stack that until you get to the point of AGI. So AGI requires data processing. It needs to scrape the internet just for sources. Open source really helps. It's kind of like the ultimate cheat code. I'm sorry, I'm an old school gamer, so I remember Grand Theft Auto having cheat codes, and you didn't have to like pay out of pocket. So I'm kind of that last remnants of rebellion. But AGI just gives you the ability to have a broad understanding and knowledge base of all the subjects combined. And then when you get to ASI, ASI is the intelligence to AGI, which allows you to utilize that in a more effective and impactful way. So for an example, if you're, we basically created TOE, which is the theory of everything. It's the accumulation of all physics together that explains, both the quantum aspect, which is very small things, to the very big things, and then gives us the really cool abilities to make things that you see in movies, because we're pushing the boundaries of what physics is. So those are the capabilities that you get with AGI, having the ability to understand all the nuances of what the physics, different types of physics are. And then ASI is the genius that understands how to pull all that together and get you what you need. The last component of that is prompting, right? So big tech calls that prompt engineering. So what prompt engineering is not enough to just say, hey, ChatGPT, I want you to compile a great list of new laws that came out. You have to say, be specific, and then you have to start automating that. Once you start automating those prompts, it becomes so much easier in your workflow, so that you don't have to continuously repeat or try to engineer your way to success.
Awesome. Thanks so
You got all
much.
that, Kate?
Yeah, I wrote it all down. No, no, it's
Sorry,
great. And the thing is, like, look, you don't have to. This is what's great about X, guys. You don't have to communicate everything to everyone. You find your audience finds you. The people that are switched on to what you want to put out to them, they will understand what you're saying and be involved and engaged. And then through that, you can also branch out beyond into people who are like curious about it and want to know more and learn the basics and understanding of it. So that you have a lot there, and you can create some amazing content on X about it, keeping it so that the people that will want to engage and be a part of what you're doing will understand. And then also translating that for the people who need their handheld a little bit more. So you can kind of do both things. So you're always engaging with different kinds of people for your audience. So
Yeah.
very exciting.
The best way to communicate that to the normies is just give really specific, practical examples. If we're talking about future technology, we could be talking about things that are just not possible today, but could be in the near future. That would be good for that kind of content.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Great to meet you. And I hope you come to our spaces. Jess was here, and he was first time coming to our space. So Alicorn as well, and then some other people here who are listening, first time here. Great to see you. Welcome, and you're always welcome to come up, request to speak, and share what you got going on. If you want to talk about video and live streaming and how you're using that on X, you're welcome to do that. If it's something you want to get more into, you can ask questions about it. We talked about that a little bit, but this is always an open forum to just talk about yourself, introduce yourself, talk about what you've got going on, because that's what collaboration is. It's about meeting new people, this basic form of networking, right? And then understanding like, this person's doing something really cool or interesting. I wanted to stay in touch with them. Might be something they can help me on a project. They might need help on something, it goes both directions. So
Yeah.
I hope that makes sense.
And I love that we do have this variety of people coming up and speaking with us today. Jess is talking about video streaming, and Alicorn is talking about, AGI and ASI and other topics. And it kind of makes me think, like, how long until somebody has a 24/7 video streaming doppelganger, ASI of themselves or AGI of themselves or whatever, that can kind of talk to their followers in the chat and stuff, while talking about whatever topics you've programmed it to discuss, for the week. Kind of like scheduling your posts, except you're scheduling topics for discussion for your live doppelganger AI. Like, I think that's coming soon.
Yeah,
Sooner than you
Instagram and
think.
stuff is kind of Instagram and TikTok and stuff are already kind of doing that, aren't they?
They shut it down
Oh,
very quickly. Didn't go well. It went about as well as that Microsoft one that everybody remembers. It turned racist very quickly.
Oh
Hey.
no.
The ways of the internet. But Chris, you've had your hand up forever, and you probably have something to add for something we talked about half an hour ago. And I'm sorry.
I was actually going to talk about the video and spaces merging. I was going to say my son does stuff with OBS, and I thought it would be interesting to try to merge, do a live stream based on OBS, and then pipe in spaces as the audio on the live stream.
Yeah, we were able to get because you can make on OBS you can make a virtual camera that's just like whatever you're putting into OBS, and then so you can just set up your scene any way you want. The problem we had when we were trying to do that is that we couldn't get the audio piped in. So if you can figure out that, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, some of that is there's a little bit of a higher end jiggering, but the other part of that too is once you do that, you have the ability, like he was saying, you could bring in a co-host via Meet or Skype or name your video platform here. You could even have a Zoom going in the background to do your actual interview, and they would be detached from that production cycle.
Yeah, and I just noticed just on this space, there's now on desktop next to the mute icon, there's like a drop down thing or a drop up because it's going up that allows you to switch microphones. So it's possible that that's a solved issue. Like you can just switch over to your desktop audio, play something, and then switch back when you're ready to talk.
Yeah, it's something I've been meaning to do some live stuff and some possible spaces with that, just because that was the one thing whenever I've seen I think live is actually going to be more popular with XTV because it is really nice to be able to just flip up a space and not have to interact, I'd say. Whereas spaces tends to lean more interactive. And I think merging the two would be ideal because there's a lot of times when I go into a space and I know I'm never going to get any kind of speaking thing, nor do I want to. I'm just multitasking and need some noise. And I would love to be able to just pull that up on the TV. You can't do spaces on XTV right now. And then,
you can do my spaces on XTV because I'm live streaming this too.
Well, yes. And because you're live, you can have that come up. But I think that's a serious gap because I think one of the issues that causes spaces to glitch as bad as it is it's a small space that hasn't been designed to scale, right? So, I mean, ideally, you want the broadcast aspect of this if you're only ever going to be a listener. And if you want to be a speaker, you go through a different channel. And I think that would make this a lot more stable for the bulk of the folks that are just here to consume as opposed to contribute.
Yeah, I think they are like really actively working on a lot of this stuff, right? I just, it may have been like, I don't know, 5 or 6 months ago that it's really been less talked about, but I think that it is the goal to like kind of make spaces like a video conferencing type of software.
Yeah, the trick though is we've got mixed. What you don't want to do is you don't want one thing to try to be good at everything, because I've seen spaces work two ways. One way is how we would traditionally consider like, the huddle thing where we're going to do a meet, we're going to get like 10 people together and have a meeting. That's awesome. But then I've also seen them try to do the really big things like, Musk is going to have, Donald Trump on, and that has no, it doesn't need to be a space. It should be like a live stream. They can coordinate it via a space, but that's something that a lot of people are just going to consume. And I think the extra plumbing, having a meeting where anyone can talk doesn't scale past several hundred people. Well, we've seen that. It's not that it couldn't be made to scale, but it's also not necessary because there's all sorts of other things you need that I've talked about to the X team as well. You need a green room. It's not just enough to have a co-host. You need ability to pop out and, talk to somebody. What question are you going to ask? That kind of thing. And so that's what I'm getting at. There's managing like what I would consider to be like a full-fledged radio show, which I think some of the bigger folks would want to do. And then there's a small kind of huddle podcasts or, like this, the more intimate, to borrow the word, spaces, right? Where you've got, maybe 20 people and you're all trying to talk and interact.
Yeah, it's an interesting balance that that they need to pull off because, I've heard the suggestion like, oh, they need more speaker positions. It's like, no, I don't see how that's even something that's feasible. Like if I don't follow the host, or the host has never interacted with the host, like I'm way at the bottom of that panel if I'm up as a speaker, and they don't even see me because I'm below the fold. So I don't know about that feature that people have been asking for. But the idea of like the green room and like some of these other features that are just kind of standard in something like Zoom or in a StreamYard, which I use, being able to integrate those things into spaces, boy, would that be something pretty amazing.
Yeah, the one thing, just to wrap this up, that I was looking at that would be really fascinating is if they released an API for spaces. I think it would be fun to kind of merge things and to be able to add games and such to an environment like this. Right now we have hands, right? But if you could plug into something and you could like have a, like I know some people try to do trivia or things like that. If you could actually have an
Gambling.
API behind that, well, you could do that too. But it's a
That
shared
would be
API
so popular.
that could all it needs to do is see spaces, right? So you can see who's talking or who's up. And then you could have that open on another channel and be watching that. And you could, people that are like you talk about gaming, you could have a poker game that's going on live in a space on X, and then there's a stream that's going along with it.
That'd be wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I try to think about like what would be like the one or two like solid features that for video spaces that would like make me want to do them all the time, more and more and more. And yeah, probably be me as the host being able to select who could have their camera on or not. So it's not just the co-host. Maybe I have to invite people to share their screen or some sort of approval process like that. So it could be, not just the camera, but also like a screen share type of thing. That would be a game changer. Like that would just change my whole dynamic on here completely. Just that. And yeah, what else? Like I do like the idea of like the chat versus the replies. The replies are great for when it's like we need to share a link, we need to share a photo, something like that to engage, or something to engage with after the space, which doesn't really happen, surprisingly. I wish that happened more. Like the amount of replays that supposedly happen for spaces, why aren't there more engagement in the purple pill once a space is already played through? Because like I get those notifications. So here, as someone here listening, if you're listening to the recording, you can reply to this space and I will get it. So like if there's a question that came up that you wanted to engage with or get answers from either someone who was speaking or myself or whatever, or continue the discussion, that could happen in the replies, right? But it doesn't. So I wonder about that. So I think like an active chat would also be a way to engage in real time and maybe have that purple pill become something that is like we're keeping the conversation going after, much like the comment section on YouTube, which is so effective at that. It's really hard to build a community on YouTube because that's the only engagement feature is the comments, but it is a super cool one and people love it. Like I found this new channel a few weeks ago. I'm obsessed with this channel on YouTube. He's awesome. And I left a comment today and he replied and all this stuff. And it's just like, oh, wow, because on YouTube, it's like you're so isolated from the content creators you engage with daily. Like you can have this, like a love a channel to death and the person and everything, and they will have no idea who you are unless you comment and then you're actually engaging in the comments. It's wild.
Well, even just if you could merge something where when you made a request, you could put in a reason, or if you put your hand up, you could put in a reason. And then the co-host could actually look through who has their hands up and go, oh, wait a minute, this is relevant, and pull them in.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And just showing up on the regular feed, like when spaces were for like that, there was like a glitch for like a week and spaces were showing up in the For You. I mean, that was amazing. So people were finding things. And live streaming, I think like, that's how a lot of people found me. Like that's how Rich found me. That's how Christopher found me, is through when I was live streaming. because I popped up in your feeds, right?
Yes,
is
you're in the
correct.
upper right-hand corner little thing. Live on X, I think is what it was called back then. I don't know what it's called now.
Yeah, so that's why I really like this idea of using all the features you can on here to help the people find you however it is that they will find you. And yeah, I don't see as much the live streams in the For You feed like I used to. That was definitely something more common. And as well, Spaces, very short time, there was that feature too. And I
Yeah,
think that was so powerful.
I was gonna say I had noticed that for a while too. It seems like X does that a lot. They test out features and they'll just roll it out really quickly, like quietly without telling anybody, and they'll kind of see how the algorithm and how everybody reacts to it, and then they'll just quietly pull it away.
Yeah, I think they're kind of like bleeding in new features. Like I don't think they want to like massively change things all at once. They probably could, but it might be, kind of an issue for people like taking it all in at once. So this might be the better way to do it, and not disrupt what normally goes on. Like little features here and there
Yeah,
add up and add up and add up.
I think so too. It's like they're like I think I heard Elon say it's like they're renovating a train while it's on the tracks moving. So they have to be very careful with what they do and why they do it and how they do it and etc.
And when it comes to this stuff, we think about, okay, how I've had in with the premium feedback community, I've gone in there and made some suggestions about Spaces and how these things should be in our feed. We should really be promoting these things more. And then it becomes like, oh, but X doesn't make any money off of it. Well, that's not my fault. Okay, guys, like there's so many ways that's very clear how to monetize these Spaces. So, I can't do that for you. I can do it for myself. I can send people to my website. Hopefully they'll sign up for my newsletter there or whatever. Or just follow me, but it's very clear when Elon posted about, he's done this a few times, unregretted user minutes, right? Isn't that what he said?
Yeah, that's
Like
Yeah.
correct.
that's what they
Yes.
want to maximize on here. Okay, someone hosting a 3-hour space with the same people in there listening the whole time. How is that not part of that algorithm? Like, hello, like that just seems it's kind of obvious, like right on a silver platter for the platform. They have to figure out how it is that they do monetize it, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Something I've
Or
wondered is, really quickly, just something I've wondered is, because they could monetize Spaces, based on the amount of time spoken and the amount of people who are listening. So the minutes speaking and listened to. But then what do you do about the people who are listening in Spaces while also searching X? How do you break out their monetization, their cut that they're giving out, to their people? I wonder. Anyway, Aura.
Good morning, everybody. It would be nice if they monetize Spaces, but since there's no advertising in Spaces, I mean, is that just ratios of our, money we pay in? Like Rich was saying, like, how are you going to cash that all up? And as far as unregretted user minutes, like, dude, today I'm throwing a tantrum. I'm really mad because I don't feel that's the way the algorithm is. And for several months now, my visibility's been really, really low. And I figured I'd did something, and my account was deboosted and I haven't quite been able to figure out what, but wasn't giving it much energy. And yesterday I posted a Costco picture with, how much is it? And that just went like fire. And I'm like, oh, it's nothing to do with my account. It's my content. And if that's the content the algorithm wants, if that's what that was all. So you probably don't want to come to my page today because I am doing one-liner tantrums. That's what I'm doing today. Love you guys.
I love a good rant. I I do that on occasion. Yeah, maybe it doesn't get the engagement I like, but it's it's a nice
Oh
release
no, they're
valve.
getting great engagement. They're getting great
Oh, good.
engagement. The first one was, if you liked this post, you're a loser. And yeah.
Oh, I love that so much.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's going to be a whole ton of them today. That's like what I'm doing today. I'm sorry. I know I'm supposed to be the sunshine tornado, but this is authenticity. I'm raging. And I know that we have the power, or God, I hope to God that we have the power to change that. One of the things that I'd said a few days ago, somebody was complaining about, I was like, well, you know, we have to go out and find those people. We can't rely on the For You or the algorithm to give us who we want to see, the content that matters. You know, you can't be lazy. You've got to get up, or, well, you're in your seat, whatever. You have to go out and search for it. If and I hope that we're going to get to a place where that's not the case, where the algorithm will see that, hey, I love long form, feed me long form, and that's what's delivered. That would be lovely, but it's not that way now. And other than my tantrum today, like, I'm just giving in and doing it today. I will be back at it tomorrow, seeking out the people that are making the content that I want to engage with.
I can be
Yeah. So
lazy. I can be lazy whenever I want. Doing that
yeah,
right
I
now.
see no problem with that. You know, or like, yeah, be you, and we will love it. You know, like that's the authenticity. You said it. You know, so I hope it shows up on my feed. No, I'll go to your profile.
I think the odds are that it will, because it's a one-liner.
I know, it is funny. I was scrolling last night on my phone, and you get different experiences on your phone and on the website. I'm a bit heavy website user, but I like just it was just really cold here, and I was kind of just hunkered down, and I didn't want to bring out the laptop and everything. So I was kind of scrolling on my phone, and like the feed was just wild. And I was seeing, you know, 90% plus people I don't follow content, and it was keeping me interested. It was keeping me engaged. I certainly wasn't liking and commenting and replying as much as I would if it was actually people that I know, because you know, that just shouting into the void on someone's viral tweet is, I don't know. I'm kind of over that. Like, you know, where I'm like expressing my hot take. I still do on occasion, but I do like to do that more on people I actually know and follow, or have met in spaces or something. Because it's like, oh, I actually have a connection with you in some way. So I think like you might actually value my opinion on this, which is a cool thought.
Well, and the other thing on those, Kate, that's one of the reasons why I don't like repost as much as quote posts. Like, if you do see something that's that larger conversation by a big account, if you quote post it on your page, I'm very likely to engage with it because I'm talking to you. I'm not going to do that on a repost because I don't want to be in that gross thing that happens on those big accounts where, you know, people are coming in and being trolling and being divisive just to get views. And yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. I've been seeing that more in my feed too. So there is something to that. Absolutely. Like, just some of my mutuals or whatever, when they quote post something, that's like one of these things. Like yesterday it was Miss Stone's haircut, you know, so I got everyone's opinion on that quote posted that. So I probably should have added my opinion on it, but I don't know, that hair isn't my forte, so I didn't really have a hot take on it, but I did find it interesting, in that kind of gossip column kind of way, to see what people I follow's opinion on it. So yeah, that's a strategy too, that if you're trying to reach your audience, that's a good way to do it, because that is absolutely how I saw some people's posts that I don't normally see, who I am following. Yeah, so thanks, Aura.
Yeah, I think there is one more thing to it why we are seeing so many new accounts on our feed, because I started showing replies as well to the original post on the For You feed. I think that brought up a lot of new accounts because our mutual connections are talking to their own mutual connections, and then those accounts were also popping up on the For You feed. I kind of liked it for a while.
Yes, that's a fantastic point. Nice to meet you. Is it Chatan?
Yes, yes, that's Chetan. Hi, Kate.
Hi, hi. So thanks for joining us up here. And yeah, thank you for that reminder because, okay, now I'm remembering scrolling last night on my For You on my phone. And I'm just like, the algorithm's a little wild. And I click on something and I open it. And then I see, like, oh, someone has that I follow and engage with a lot has replied to this post because it, those get sorted up to the top when I see the replies. So that, yeah, it's that connection point that's happening there. So yeah, thanks for reminding me of that because it is these little things tweaks the algorithm. So they're saying, okay, this person here that you engage with a lot is replying to this post, so we're going to put it to your feed. And yeah, they used to kind of, you'd see that reply on the feed sometimes, right? So you'd understand the context that, oh, like someone I engaged with replied. But now last night it wasn't like that. It was just the post, and then I had to click on it to see that, oh, it is someone that I'm connected to replying. So yeah, that's where I kind of got lost in my For You last night because it just was like none of these people I'm following, but it is that connection that, so they're trying to do that 7 degrees to Kevin Bacon type of thing, which I actually love about social media, like the old Facebook and even or MySpace. And then before that with Friendster, which probably no one here remembers, but I loved it because it
I
did that
remember
connection
Friendster.
point. It had that connection point, and that's what I loved about it when social media was first born. Basically you had your profile and your friends, and you would always see people pop up and they'd be like, this is a friend of so and so. And when we were talking about really early social media, these are people you knew in real life. There weren't people that you just met online, most cases, like very rare cases, but most cases it was people that you knew in real life and were friends with or coworkers or whatever. So when you meet someone that's, or you see someone that's a friend of a friend, that was a very valuable person to meet because like you were probably going to meet them at some point. You're going to meet them sooner now. They have interests in similar to you. It's like that friend that you were supposed to meet that you haven't yet, kind of thing. So I love that part about social media, and it kind of drifted away and faded away. That's exciting to me to see it kind of integrated more into the algorithm. But it's got to be more effective because I don't need to see, my mutuals reply to an account like Elon's account with or some other huge account with 1 million followers. Like that's not helpful for me, really, because they're
Yeah,
obviously just reply guying, right?
yeah, makes sense. I think that's why they dialed it down a bit, and I don't see as many new posts with replies today as I was seeing yesterday. So I think they are trying to optimize it, and yeah, there has to be some sort of sweet spot where it doesn't get annoying. And I think this is a great way to discover new accounts on the platform because, like, most of us are optimizing to connect with new people, gain more followers, and have more conversations, for example. So I think this is a great way to discover new accounts. I think that was always a challenge on X, and we had to like manually do other stuff to find new accounts. So I think this can be a good change.
Yeah, and yes, using spaces is just how I've been doing it, to try and find new accounts, and kind of get out of my bubble a little bit. So, since you're new up here, Tan, what kind of content are you creating? What are you doing on X that you're excited about?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. So I create content mostly about like, I mean, I have like some interests that I closely follow, and I try to create something around it. So this is about like I work in crypto, so sometimes I will talk about something related to crypto. Then I usually talk about SpaceX and rocket launches and ISRO, as well as I'm from India. And then about electric vehicles as well, and general stuff about life, about X, how we are growing here, etc. It's very good to connect with Kate, you, and everyone else here, and I look forward to interacting with you all more.
Yeah, awesome. That, and I like that little bit of a sprinkle of everything that you kind of are interested in. I think that is like kind of the future of social media, because even though if you just like create like, okay, I'm an Elon account, I just focus on Elon and that's all you post about and stuff. It's like, yeah, you can grow your account that way, but it will become kind of boring, right? You may get established and then what, you get bored with it. So just being authentic from the beginning, putting yourself out there, talking about all your interests. Not everybody's going to be drawn to everything you post, but they're getting to know you. And that's so much more valuable because as you grow over time, you're not going to get bored with it. You can pivot so much easier. You can try new things, you can experiment, and people will go along with the ride with you because they like you, right? So awesome. Great. Good luck with that. And I hope you will join our community and come to our spaces. We do these twice weekly. So I'll just do a little kind of reset, I guess. I want to welcome everybody who tuned in, who's jumped in, who's been listening since the beginning or has popped in. So great to see so many of you, some of the regular friends that I get to see and some new friends. So everyone here is welcome to request to speak, come say hi and share anything that they're working on. If you would like to repost the space, very much appreciated. And also, if you can't come up and speak and you want to share something about what you have going on, or if you have spoken and you have a post about what you were talking about, or just want to introduce yourself, please go ahead and drop that in the purple pill. It's a great way to connect with people who maybe can't come up and speak or are maybe listening to the replay, right? So they will be able to find you down there, even if you didn't come up and speak. So when the replay goes on, it's just the speakers that are featured. So if you're listening, you're missing an opportunity there to go ahead and share something about yourself so people can get to know you and become a part of the community a little bit more. Let's see. So also, I want to remind people about the poll. So Christopher, please tell us about the poll again and how important it is that we vote before the end of the space.
Actually, it's not important at all because I only set it for an hour, so it's over. But
Oh, it's over.
Yes, I wasn't sure how long we were going to be going for. And,
Yeah, I wasn't sure either. But things are going really good today, so we'll go a little longer. But if you have to jump out, I understand. But since the poll has been completed, you can still always go into the poll and leave a other response at any point. But we'll go ahead and reveal the results of that now.
All right. Well, and then okay, the question is, what's the largest animal you could fight hand to hand and win against? And in last place with 0% of the vote is a goose, which is correct because they will mess you up because they're super mean. Let's see here. Third place with 12.5% of the vote is a goat. And second place with 37.5% of the vote is a sheep. And number one with 50% of the vote is other. And that seems to be just turtles. Turtles is what? Galapagos turtles. Yeah.
Hey, I have a turtle.
Yeah, can you fight it?
Yeah, it doesn't really fight back.
Exactly. That is the correct answer.
Well,
Go ahead.
I'll just say thanks for having me up. I saw your space. It says, how do you use video and streaming? I don't know how really to say this lightly, but I completely upended how you rev share and how you actually value yourself as a live streamer. There's a market cap on my live stream that's currently valued at $250,000. I was the first person ever in the world to put a market cap on a live stream and have it valued by the people that watch. I'm the first ever watch to earn platform to where you subscribe to me via the Solana blockchain and your subscription appreciates as I grow. It's kind of like buying stock in a content creator. And as they grow in popularity, your stock increases in value. And I've made a lot of investors very happy. And I utilize all platforms. I'm currently live on about 16 platforms simultaneously, one of them being X. Right now I am streaming news from the fires because I just had it on all night because I live in Los Angeles and I've been kind of just keeping people up to date on that. I'm about 25 minutes south of Malibu and Palisades. I'm in Manhattan Beach. I actually posted a few photos that I took last night. They were pretty fucking wild. But as far as streaming goes and video, the video on Spaces is still a little buggy, but it is improving. And I've noticed some cool features like, you know, when a host is speaking, you can actually co-host somebody, and the video will bop back and forth between the host and the host and whoever is speaking in that video, which is pretty cool. The live streaming aspect of X is still super archaic compared to, like, say, something like Twitch or Kick that has been, you know, doing live streaming since I think 2009 or 10. And Twitch just has a massive amount of features when it comes to live video live streaming and stuff. Kick has a bunch of cool stuff too. You know, but the subscription model is sort of I'm trying to cook and clap that whole thing by, like I said, going directly to the jugular and having a sovereign you know, market cap where I'm my own bank and independent financial sovereignty via, you know, utilizing cryptocurrency. I know a lot of people think cryptocurrency is a scam. I know a lot of people don't understand it, therefore they think it is a scam. And 99.9% of most memes are scams. But there are a very large portion of projects that exist in the crypto sphere that people seldom pay attention to, but the right people pay attention to because they're educated and they know about it. That are in the millions, are in the hundreds of millions, if not billions. There is a live streaming centric token that went to 30 million market cap. There is one called MLG that's currently at 100 million market cap. Those guys are live streaming gamers, and they have a token centered around that. I know it can be a little, you know, tough and weird to understand, but as a content creator, like I posted an image of the fire last night. It got over 2,000 shares. It had, you know, thousands upon thousands of likes. And as a monetized person on Instagram, I'm going to get a check for $1.37 probably. That's pretty bullshit. 92% of the Instagram's platform are people that lurk. 8% of the entire platform support 100% of the content that is on Instagram. So I decided to circumnavigate all of that on all platforms and put a market cap to my live streaming platforms. So that's how I utilize live streaming. And I have a feeling that if you're a content creator or a live streamer or somebody that creates value through entertainment, you're going to circumnavigate the rev share models that are complete horseshit and dog shit right now. And you're going to put a market cap to your content creation with a Web3 construct.
Wow. Yes. Thanks so much for sharing that. And it's pretty interesting stuff. And yes, I'm one of those people that's just like, brain shuts off when I hear crypto. But I do appreciate you coming in here and chat. Like occasionally people wander in here from the crypto space, like, because if I go to the spaces tab on here, it's like I'm scrolling and there's all these titles that are words that I don't understand. Like they don't make sense to me. I have no idea what you're talking about. There's zero chance I will ever go into any of those spaces. So having someone from those spaces come here and chat with us, it's just, you know, very nice because it's not like I don't want to be a part of anything on here. Like it's
I do know the cryptocurrency world is pretty much came from a
right,
very
but I don't know the
degenerate
difference. So like to me, it's all the same.
Yeah, but like so
Right.
like we came from 4chan days, right? Of which is pure degeneracy. There's a lot of people that have a lot of emotions involved because there's a lot of money involved, right? There's a shit ton of money being thrown around at each other. especially when there's market caps. So like, you know what I mean? When things go up, people get excited. When market caps go down and people lose money, they tend to get really mean. So like the cryptocurrency and the crypto Twitter is literally not for the lighthearted. If you do ever go in there and try to learn about what they're doing, it'd be hard to find somebody like myself that will actually take the time to teach you what it's all about. But they're just, it's insanity. And I like coming into your spaces like yours, Cate, because you guys have very smart conversations about really cool shit that it has nothing to do with cryptocurrency. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just nice to get outside those echo chambers for a little bit.
Yeah, I do love talking to all different types of people. And I'm just gonna change the subject quickly because Christopher has to go. So I want to just talk for a second about our project that we have coming up, and it's pinned up above. What it is because we're both very much into AI. Christopher is very much more part of the AI world and filmmaking and all this stuff. And I'm just like a huge fan of everything, and I do utilize it. We talk about it in our spaces quite a bit. So what we're doing, collaborating on our show, which is AI Inferno, which is a space where we talk about AI news. But we're going to adapt it as well and do kind of reaction video content of stuff that AI artists on X are creating. So, and Christopher's so good at picking apart. He's just like brilliant at it. So I'm so super excited. So anything you want to add, Christopher, about that before you have to go?
Yeah, I do see some people in the space that I'd love to see your videos. If you want to submit them, yeah, anybody that I recognize, I'll definitely see if I can get you up on the thing. Cate's the one who's selecting them, so you know, like if you, yeah, blame her if it doesn't get selected. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can pick apart the best of them.
I posted a few videos to you guys already. I actually just dropped one on that link, one that I put out today, or whatever I've been working on for the past couple of weeks. So I'd actually like that one to be listened to more so than any of the other ones. But I don't know how many videos you've gotten. You probably got 1 million at this point to listen to. But the breakdown, what is it? You're gonna criticize it, analyze it, deconstruct it? What's the story?
To react to it, if I have positive suggestions and ways to improve, I'm probably going to throw that out there. Or you know, it's probably not going to be a lot of high praise. It's just going to, you know, I'm not going to like knock anybody's stuff down. You know, if it kind of blows me away in like a weird way, I'll probably say that too. But
Nice.
you know, if it looks like it's got potential and I think I can, you know, suggest things to, you know, help push it forward, I'll probably say that too.
Well, the way I've gotten into AI, which is a few months ago, was that I realized I can start. I was messing with like the image generation, and then I started getting to video generation. I was like, wait a minute, I could sit because I've been a musician for like more than a decade at this point, and got like thousands of songs made, a lot of stuff that I've written, and I usually write stories in my songs. So you know, most of my songs have story lyrics. Like there's a narrative to the song. There's a beginning, a middle, and end. Blah blah blah. So I was like, wait a minute, I can actually illustrate these ideas, and I started experimenting. And I was like, wait, this is freaking great. Like just like this is what AI does for me is like just takes the ability. It gives me the ability to take something out of my imagination and all of a sudden put it on video, you know? And the amount of control you have over it now, like when I first started, I was like, oh man, how to figure this out. But now I've gotten better at it and I'm able to control what this thing does now. And it's just like, this is amazing. That last video that I posted today, I don't know if you get a chance to look at it, that's like a culmination of everything that I've learned so far. And I'm like, man, this is great. This idea that I had in my head for this song, and I wrote the song like probably a year and a half ago or whatever. I was like, man, this idea that I had, and look at this video. This is exactly what I wanted to see out of this, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's not a lot of, I mean, there's plenty of music videos out there, but not a lot of them that actually try to follow a story visually or in any other way. It's usually just like one visual concept and it's repeated over and over again. I used to do that too, you know, trying to figure it out. But yeah, anything like that, I'd love to see.
Yeah.
So
All right, awesome. Because actually, most of the the music videos that I did post in your link, all of them follow that format where they actually follow the story of my song. I'm actually trying to put images based on what I said and what I saw in my mind when I was writing the song, you know. So I was like, okay. So yeah, I get what you said about, like, you know, like just you see a video and it never follows the narratives. It's like just some weird obscure stuff going on in the background while the music plays. And I'm like, okay, you know, I get what you're saying though, you know. Pretty cool.
Awesome. Yeah. So we'll check that. Well, Kate will check that out because we want my reaction to be live, and you know.
Yeah. When's that all happening? The whole live reaction stuff
Probably
and
gonna
everything.
start recording. What do you think, Kate? Next week?
Yeah,
Like
so if
end
we
of
can't,
next
we
week.
probably can't get to it this week. We will have our regular space on Saturday, and we'll talk more about it. We'll have it kind of figured out, because you know what the best thing about this content is, like, all this stuff kind of just happens organically, and we come up with an idea and we're like, yeah, we're both really into this, and then we post about it, and then we just see the reaction of people and how engaged they are, and we're like, yes, this is going to be just something amazing. So we're
Yeah.
gonna really take our time with this and make sure we get it right for you guys, so it's like something valuable and useful and not just something that you watch, enjoy, and then forget about. Like, we want you to be a part of it, engaged, and be able to rewatch the videos and really get something out of it, no matter if it's your video featured or not.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was very exciting. So next week will just be a space on Saturday, or this coming Saturday, and then the week after is when we hope to have an actual video to put out and share with you guys. So
Awesome.
be patient with us, but we want to do it right.
Well, I'm following you guys, and I'm part, and you know, I signed up for the group, so whenever you guys let me in, so I'll be good there, you know.
All right, I'm on it.
It's a little hint, nudge, nudge, you know.
All right, so I'm gonna be dropping
Yeah, no,
out.
appreciate it.
But yeah, this has been great, you guys, and yeah, enjoy the rest of the space, and I'll catch you guys later.
Thank you. Take care.
Yeah. Thanks, Christopher.
Chris.
You know, he's working very hard on some very exciting projects, you guys. It's just like, it's so cool to see where all this is going. So I know we want him to stay for the full time, but you know, he's got some exciting things coming. So we
Nice.
can yeah, look forward to all that. And yes, I just got through the member request for the community. Sorry guys, like, because I'm on my desktop while I'm on my phone here doing the space, and it just didn't, I had to refresh everything. So that's why I missed all that. So I
Yeah.
just got through all that stuff for you.
Yeah.
Awesome. And let's see. So we will go for probably till the top of the hour with the space. So we're talking a little bit about with our show that Christopher and I are going to be doing, and combining, you know, different formats of video. So we're hoping to make it kind of like a live type of presentation at some point, but we're going to experiment with stuff a little bit and do it like kind of recorded and make an edited type of video that we put out. But we would love to be able to just do a live, like, okay, here's the video, we're watching it with you live, and here's the live reactions, and really hold it together that way, and then maybe release an edited, pared down version of it. That's like, I think, the ultimate goal. That would be the format. So, and I want to encourage everybody to like really think about like your interests and how you can put together a format that works for you with the tools that are here. So, you know, what what was it? Live Twitch was talking about all the features that are available in Twitch and on these other these platforms that are like geared towards live streaming. Like, that's what they want to put out there. And, you know, X wanting to be the everything app, and how kind of complex some of these other apps can be a barrier to entry for a lot of people. And one of what I think of X's advantages of it is the pared down simplicity of it, where, you know, I could hand my phone to my mom and tell her to live stream, and she probably could figure it out in a couple clicks. Whereas some of these other platforms, it's kind of a lot.
Well,
And maybe
they're actually just as easy.
is it
I was talking about the features that, as a
right?
viewer, you know what I mean? Because you can like earn channel points. You can like use emotes, subscription rewards, there's things that are very interactive for the viewer, whereas on X, it's literally just like you can just chat, and
Yeah,
that's
I
about
agree
it,
with you there. Yeah, as a
Yeah.
viewer, it's not very engaging. And the app on the phone, it's kind of buggy with live streaming too. Yeah, because when you create a live stream on X, if you're on your phone, you want to make sure you go into those settings before you start it, which isn't intuitive at all. I always bypass it. So if I'm just kind of doing one of these things where I'm like, oh, I'm out in my garden, I want to say hi, chat with you guys, what's up? And I forget to hit that setting, like it's over. I can't get it back. I can't switch it on. And I just wonder, why is no one talking to me? It's because I forgot to turn on the hearts or whatever feature it. So it's very weird in that way. And the engagement, yeah, I agree with you. There's better ways for the viewer to participate than they have nailed down. I feel like Periscope was better at that, but I don't remember. That was like a lifetime ago. I don't know if anyone ever on here was using Periscope when that was available. I do remember being that like very interactive.
Yeah, I don't have any comparison. I haven't used any of the others, but I do like the idea of gamifying it. I mean, and rewarding users for their engagement. But I think before X can even think about gamifying it, they need to fix all the glitches.
Yeah, absolutely. Because yeah, if they just add features and on top of stuff that doesn't work, right? Yeah, that'll just be more frustration, unfortunately. But yeah, just keep playing around with it. Like I'm gonna to be doing more video spaces to really make sure that I'm keeping up to date with how that tool's working. I have I figured out with StreamYard how to schedule a live stream on X. Like I had an epiphany yesterday and I realized, oh, I can do it this way with the RTMP setup in StreamYard and it should work. I scheduled my live stream for Sunday, which I probably should share here so you guys can RSVP for that because that was one of my things with problems with live streaming. It was like, okay, I like to use StreamYard. I like to multi-stream. That's just the workflow that works for me. And it has, 90% of the features of what I'm looking for. So that's what I'm using. But one of the things that was kind of hard for me to understand is why can't I can schedule the live stream on YouTube. I can schedule it on Facebook. Instagram is its own thing, but there is a way to do it. And but on X, it's just when I go live, it appears on my feed. I can't have it scheduled. So I figured that out, which was cool. So it can be done. And I hope it works. So Human Rebuild, did I do that right?
Yes.
Do you know about this?
Yeah. Howdy, everyone. Hey, Kate. Hey, Christopher. Or I guess Christopher's still kind of here. Rich, Aura. I hope y'all are doing well. Yeah.
No.
So, wait, what? Huh? Who? What? When?
Oh, I
Pineapples?
just said hello. Sorry.
Oh.
Hello.
No, you're good. Yeah. So for the streaming, that's how you do it. And then when you're in the studio, it has that segment that shows you your scheduled space or your upcoming spaces, your scheduled spaces, and then streams, and then your past streams. And then, hey, Becky. And then when you're looking at your scheduled spaces, you can post that scheduled space. And when you do so, it's just like a video, meaning you can give it a thumbnail, title, and a description, just like any videos that are housed in your media studio. So what I used to do when I was testing out streaming is I would schedule like spaces out for a month, and then I would just duplicate the whatever I had scheduled, or I would have it set to it would be like a recurring stream that would be every Friday at 2 o'clock or whatever. Because once you set up your title and your banner and all of that for the first one, as long as you have it as a recurring one, it will just keep all of that, and all you have to do is just post that individual stream link. But yeah, although
Awesome. I'm so glad I figured it out because that's what I did. Because I'm going to be doing my little mini social media workshops that I was doing over the summer as live streams again. and I'm going to start those on Sundays. They're going to be the same time every Sunday. So yeah, I was able to do that. I was like, oh, this is so cool.
Yeah, and I don't know how much you mess with it in the studio, but your past streams, it keeps them in there if you do want to clip up anything that you've recorded.
Oh, fantastic. Sweet. Yeah, I'll be playing around with that more now that I've figured it out. It's just sometimes you just have to do stuff like 1,000 times, and then for some reason it clicks so that the 1,001st time. So people, don't get discouraged with all these features and everything. Just start experimenting with it, start trying it out. There's a lot of people here who come to these spaces that have done these things and know what works, what doesn't work. And so just try it, keep going. And Human Rebuild's doing a lot of stuff with video in here, so I'm glad he popped in. And do you do live streaming occasionally as well as your video content?
I haven't done live streaming in a while, but I don't know if you remember when I was testing it out for those two different things. So yes, I have done streaming. I haven't done it in a while. I don't know if I will do it this year. I think I was talking to you about this, about, like streaming the tutorials and whatnot. And I was just hoping, I will do that once the video spaces come out, because that'll be a much better communication format in terms of education, especially for something as, I'm not going to say technical as Notion, but something as robust as Notion, just because there's a lot and you don't want your question to be shorthanded and for it to take forever in order to understand what's being asked. But when I was streaming, I did use OBS, and I do have StreamYard. I used StreamYard first, and then I used OBS. I do think that I like OBS better because you can have your sequences set up if you have a particular flow, and you can't really do that with StreamYard. You have to set it up each and every time. So yeah.
Yeah, they kind of
And you
put
have to
in
pay
like
for
a little
StreamYard
bit of
too.
a with StreamYard, there's like a little bit of a thing where you can set up an individual, they call it a studio. So like I have my regular weekly shows. It's the same like graphics, same color palette, same like music. It's all in there. So it's not everything in every one, which is nice to just kind of stay organized. But so that's just kind of their like version of that. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close. So I can just go into the studio for like the spaces. So I record these spaces with StreamYard as they're going on, and I do live stream them, broadcast them to my other platforms at the same time. So I'm using StreamYard to do that, and I have it set up as a studio with like, okay, I want it to be the vertical phone format, and I want it to have these overlays available and this music available to me. So that's what's in there, and not everything else because of all the other things that I do. So that's helpful for that. But they raised their prices a couple months ago, and it's just like I'm on the verge of switching to OBS. I have used that in the past, and I just wanted something because I just didn't want to have like
Okay,
more brain power used.
I
Yeah.
highly recommend you get on OBS fast as possible, because it's what you control, and everything else kind of builds on top of it. It's kind of like the origin of your live stream. You can build it out nice and perfectly. They can use something like Restream to push it out via the virtual camera. And all roads, I've done this. I've been live for 288 days straight, and all roads lead back to OBS when you want to build a live streaming platform, because you can integrate it with all thereafter. It's like the ultimate fundamental base.
Yeah, that's why I
and
didn't go
I
back
totally
to.
agree. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that. That's why like I went to OBS, because I had gotten the StreamYard when we were all talking about it, like in FinFam, and I paid for it or whatever, and then like a couple months after, they're like, yeah, we're raising the price, which didn't really like matter to me, except for when I have to pay for it again, and I was like, I don't even think it's worth it for. I think it's like respectfully, I think it's barely worth it for what you can do with the purchasing price. Just the fact you can do it on any device. But I like OBS a lot better because it's just easy. Meaning, like when I was talking about the packs on OBS compared to like StreamYard, how are you talking about you can have that on OBS? You can set up your scenes and then you can have them preview, right? So like if you have your opening, your intro thing to play, while you're like your countdown or whatever, you can have that playing, and then whatever you want to come up next, you can have that previewed, and then whatever transition you want. So that way you don't have to be, like by the screen, which is nice because if you have your intro set for 5 minutes, the video is 5 minutes, you can have it playing, and then when it ends, it transitions into your next scene, which you have set. And so I really like it because, just because of that, and you don't have to, it's not just like your audio and your like banners or whatever. It's like your visuals, it's all that type of stuff. And then also when you were talking about the virtual cameras, you actually technically don't need to use Restream in order to use the virtual cameras for OBS now. So that's one thing. And also I do like the fact that it remembers, like whenever you plug in your microphones, it remembers that, so you don't have to constantly set those up each and every time. Like obviously you should, still check your tech before you start streaming. But I do like the fact that, like, as long as you have it plugged in before you open up OBS, when OBS opens up, it's just going to be like exactly where you left off, which is very, very nice for you to, streamline your stuff.
Okay, cool. And I'm going to ask you guys while I have you here. And just a quick reminder, I'm going to be closing the space up here at the top of the hour. So if anyone wants to get in a word or anything, request to speak or raise your hand and we'll get to you. Otherwise, I'm just going to pick the brains about this stuff for live streaming because I want to know about it and improve my stuff, because like I'm always trying to level up with things. So yes, I've used OBS in the past and it was fine. It was fine for what I was doing at that time. I was just very simple. I was just doing a screen share without my face on it. It was a faceless type of channel doing tutorials. And that's what I would live stream. It was very easy to do, like a few clicks, boom, I'm on. And I didn't need to have like other features and learn really complex features. Now, when I kind of changed my trajectory on what I wanted to put out there, I wanted it to be more me and have like overlays and other things coming up. And I'm like, okay, I haven't used OBS in a year or so. I'm going to have to learn all this. And I just didn't have that ability to set aside time to learn a new program. And the way StreamYard works, it's like you kind of just get in there and it's like it just
You want
kind
to
of
know a hack?
works,
Use
right?
ChatGPT. Use
Yeah, no, I
ChatGPT
know,
4.0.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And I will be, so that's fantastic. But I want to ask, because I know the feature that I'm going to be needing and I want to use and I want to understand if it is easy to do with OBS or not, is bringing a guest on. So someone who's completely computer illiterate, I send them a link with some basic instructions. Can they get on and can I chat with them?
So that's what you can use Restream for. When you link it up with OBS, just link it up to Restream and you're going to send them that Restream link, and then that's how they'll get into it. So it's just like how StreamYard, when you give them the link, it'll, prompt them and they can like sign in or whatever. It's the same thing on Restream.
Okay. Yeah. So that is then something I would be paying for anyway. Right. So I know Restream does have that smaller tier, so I could definitely still cut my costs in half.
Yeah, I think honestly it'd be fine because if I'm correct, even on Restream's free tier, the only thing that's on there is the watermark. Otherwise, it's gonna be screening exactly what's on your OBS setup.
Okay. All right. So that's not what I wanted to hear, but it's okay.
Wait. What do you mean that's not what you want to hear? Wait.
I don't want to have multiple apps. That's my thing. Like I'm very minimalist, right? So
Oh
it's
no,
like,
no,
Well, I mean,
Restream. No, that's the thing. Though you have to use OBS as your base, and Restream is what puts it out to the world. Like
yeah,
the ultimate combo in live streaming is OBS as your creative and Restream as your output.
yeah, I'm
yeah.
gonna be
Like
a
all
boomer,
like
the
all it
boomer in
is.
the room.
Yeah, like all Restream is it's just the middleman for your screen. Like you don't have to interact with it. That's just transporting your visuals to X and allowing people to do all that type of stuff or whatever.
Yeah, see, this is the barrier, guys. Like, I'm a boomer in my head. I want to be so badly, guys. Like, and I get it. It's
No, no,
easy
no.
and
We leave that
simple.
to Jackie.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, where's Jackie when you need her? Have my back. No, I'd like, so I get it and I understand and everything. I just don't want to have multiple things, but I will probably switch to Restream. But the problem is, guys, now I'm kind of in the StreamYard world, and the people that I collaborate with are in there, right? So they understand when we're going to do our show, because I do work with some other people who aren't Christopher and you guys that are technically savvy, right? So I've already kind of trained them up on like, okay, I'm sending you the link now. You have to connect your channels. This is you connecting your channels here. This is where you do it, and we have like that figured out. So switching is like a big deal. So I will have to, I was thinking about doing it a couple months ago when the prices changed, and I'm just like, is it worth it with this, like the hassle? I think it is, because that price over time is quite significant. But I just have to deal with that mentally, and that's the boomer feeling, like it's like, can I handle it mentally? I don't know, guys.
Oh, actually, I just remembered. The other way that you can have a guest in OBS is OBS Ninja, and that's a plugin. That's a free plugin.
Nice. I'm trying to think of like, yeah, how would it? It's like I just need someone's face on the screen. It's like that's all it has to be. It doesn't like yes, it would be great to be able to stream to other people's platforms. And that should be like a step that can be done. And that's right. That's probably what Restream is solving, right? So that they can get in and stream it to their X account, their YouTube, whatever. Which is a really good features for reach. So that's one of these complexities. And when it comes to features, it's like, this is like the very basics that I would want. I just need someone to be able to get on there, and then I need them to be able to stream it to another platform. Like everything else, I can kind of hack my way through, right? That's the only complex thing that has to be solved. So I'll be working on it. I'm thinking about this stuff. So if anyone here has their like solution for this kind of stuff and what they're doing, I'm all ears, and really want to make it work as easy and simply as possible, and make it easy for guests too. So all right, so I'm going to get to the hands here, and we're going to wrap up the space. So thanks everyone for joining today. This has been a fantastic space. Like, so much great information has been dropped, and we've really gotten to a great discussion. So thanks everybody for joining. If you're not in the community yet, request to join. We'd love to have active content creators in there. We're starting back up doing 2 weekly spaces. So there's this one on Wednesday afternoons, Eastern time, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And then on Sundays, it's a evening space on the East Coast, starting at 7 p.m. And we usually go to 9 p.m. Eastern time. So that's hopefully to kind of cover all the time zones around the globe, where you can at least tune into one of those. Or both, of course, if you feel so inclined. I'd love to have you. All right, so I'm going to go to Becky first, and then we'll go to Artist Journey, and we're going to close up the space. Excuse me. Go ahead, Becky. How are you today?
Hello, Kate. I'm fine. How are you? I hope you're
Doing
doing
great.
well. That's great. I just wanted to say hi to everybody. Hi, Rich, Human Rebirth. Nice to talk to you this year again. It's
Happy
been
New
an
Year.
interesting space, though. Yeah, Happy New Year to you too. How did it start for you?
Well, I went and visited Christopher. Spent the New Year's night with him and spent the week there. It was really great.
Yeah, right. I've seen your dinner, which actually looked very nice, honestly. So yes, back to the video streaming. It's been a very interesting space. Actually, it's to listen to all the experiences you have with the different platforms and how to use it. I actually missed the video part, but it's been interesting today. So and maybe give the mic to the next one because I think you want to close down the space today. So, but we'll talk again next time.
Yeah, definitely. And I know I should have just like a gossip space so I can catch everybody up on all the hot gossip with me and Christopher being like, the official ex-couple, I think.
You can start a different space on that one.
Yeah, that would be fun.
But
All
I've
right.
seen no gossip anyway.
Yeah. So, thanks, Becky. Always good to see you and see you speaking in spaces and more creating more content and everything. So, happy New Year and thanks for coming by. We'll go ahead to Wilfred Artist Journey to round up the space here because he's an awesome content creator on here. If you're not following him, you need to be. He's creating some really cool AI art, AI films, that kind of stuff. So I just want to say hi and see what's going on with Artist Journey.
Hey, Kate. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you had a great break. Really missed the spaces, but well-deserved break, I'm sure. So it's good to hear your voice and everyone else here and a lot of new faces here on the Spice. I was just, listening to what everyone was saying, a lot of valuable info and tips on video and streaming. I used to use Periscope a lot way back, Kate, so I definitely know your gripe with that. I loved it. I loved Periscope at the time. I think I started it when I was in Korea, and then the Wi-Fi was so great there, I would just kind of stream everywhere I went, and it was really fun times. And it's interesting how it's been evolving to now. But in regards to what you're using now with StreamYard, and for myself, I use OBS, I use StreamYard, I use Restream and everything. The, I would say just continue using what you're using now. It's just kind of like all these different AI platforms, they're all updating on their own, but I would just say keep growing with what you're familiar with first and build from there. And instead of like heavily pivot, because one issue that I have sometimes that I still need to get over is that once I start to get some really good momentum, I start to assume that I need to pivot and do something completely different, or just change just because I think that's the best thing. But sometimes the best strategy is to just keep going and focusing on what you're building piece by piece to make that foundation stronger. StreamYard has a lot of great capabilities. You can do multi-streaming there, so you don't need to really use any of those stuff. I'm pretty sure there is a guest invite link in there. Just ask Grok. I'm pretty sure you can find some solutions to that. And you can always screen share someone as well. Depending which programs you use. So there's always a lot of ways of getting over that. So nothing's impossible really. Because once you start using multiple platforms, then that would also start to affect your RAM, your performance in your computer. It might actually delay and start to affect the rest of the streaming quality, which I think is the most important thing. So the fact that you have it set and ready, that's probably the most powerful thing, because I used to do so many things, and then afterwards I'm like, I have this going on, I have multicam, I have the invites and all that stuff, and then it's just choppy and laggy, and then no one's showing up, and I'm wondering what's the deal. I got everything going on. So again, that could be a performance thing on your sides, but I'm just assuming that you might not know exactly what things you have. So if it's working for what you got going on, just continue with that. And I guess in terms of things going on my side, I'm just still making a lot of pieces and everything. I'm really trying to experiment, explore with templates and formats that work on Twitter. I've it's so interesting because some things I share on Twitter, you'll get like 1 or 2 likes, which I'm okay with, and the same format too on Reddit or TikTok or Facebook does really well. I have a few videos that are almost at like 700,000 views or 1 million. So I'm just still figuring out what is the best format or way to share on Twitter, because I think personally for me, my issue too, kind of like to listen to my own advice really is, pivoting too much, trying to go into multiple streams. But I feel like I'm starting to get a method or a way of streamlining it where I have a piece of content. How can I start to distribute it out evenly, And then my focus now is this: once I have it set, just start sharing it in all the platforms, because that too takes effort and work other than just building up the content too. And it's been really interesting that way. I've been fighting so hard. Fighting's not the right word, but like I've been working towards monetization on Twitter. But the things that you have to work towards is quite a lot. Obviously, 5 million impressions and stuff. And I already have monetization on Facebook, so I'm realizing I should just focus on that in terms of building some type of a community and getting things working. So just kind of want to share some insights and things how are going on my side. But yeah, I just really miss the community here. Hopefully everyone's doing great, having an awesome 2025. And I'm just looking forward to what everyone else is working on.
Oh, awesome. Thanks for those updates. And, this is the thing with the multiple social media platforms. It's like you can be killing it on another one and just like crickets on another one. And it's the same exact content. And it's just, what is going on? How do you even solve that riddle? Yeah. And as far as, Facebook goes, people can laugh all they want all day long at Facebook, but there's a lot of money on Facebook. There's a lot of people on Facebook, a lot of real people. I mean, yes, there's fake people, of course, but there's a lot of just real, regular old people on Facebook going there, cruising every day, clicking on ads, buying stuff. And, that's a very powerful monetization feature. So I would not blame you at all for just like focusing your energy there and then taking that content and distributing it elsewhere. So if you do like a live video on Facebook, that's your primary audience, like kind of how I'm doing it. Like X is my primary audience. It's where I've kind of built up an audience, but I'm also putting it out on my Facebook page. I'm also putting it out on my YouTube channel, so I can hopefully kind of grow that organically as well, not neglect it completely. It's just, I know it's going to take longer. It's going to take me a while to get the number of subscribers I need on YouTube to monetize there with one channel. So, or my own personal channel. So it's like, I'm going to focus my energy here because that's where I'm have the most engagement. I am have the monetization features, not all of them, some of them. I just really enjoy it uh, and all that. So it's just a good fit for me. And if it was different story, I'd probably be somewhere else, but also trying to grow here at the same time. So I think your approach, thinking about in 2025, that might be the way to go. And as you kind of grow organically here as well, coming over here, coming in the spaces, getting to know the accounts, posting, engaging, in that more passive way, slowly building your account organically. And then you kind of hit that point. Like, I think we all notice it. For me, it kind of happened very recently. Like, even though I've been doing spaces and live streams and I've got a few people that I engage with all the time, I don't have a big audience. Like, you can look at my posts. That I'm not getting tons of engagement except for recently. It's very recent that it's like now I'm hitting that mark of my posts getting hundreds of views and a bunch of comments, replies, and then people that I know I want to engage with. And so that's happened in the last like month. I mean, and it might have to do with getting my monetization switched on, which happened very recently too. So I don't know if that goes hand in hand, possibly. So
Yeah, totally. And it's sometimes, I'm just considering, you mentioned like Periscope before. So obviously you've been doing it for a few years now, at least with live streaming and all that stuff. But For example, like we we d- we we post things 100 times, and then sometimes people give up on the 99th time because it's like already so much, and they don't realize that change can happen after that 100th time. It's very similar to auditioning for acting and all that stuff, because or like a batting average, for baseball, like you're just missing out so much, but like the actual percentage of like actually succeeding is based on a tower of a structure of failures. And sometimes it's probably not a good way to consider it as a failure, because it's not, because you're like working upwards or failing upwards in a way, where you're just building more resiliency through the consistency, which is like super important. And I'm not sure if this is helpful for anyone, but in terms of Facebook, why I went into that focusing there is, I do use X often, just because I find like the updates on news, especially with AI tech, the tips. I love Spaces here. It's so up to date, and once NVIDIA comes out with a new update, you're going to see like 5, 10 people sharing the same thing in different like formats or whatever. But on Facebook, that's almost non-existent. And like you said before, there are like huge communities there that are like really thriving. So if you just post it on your timeline, it's not going to be that effective, because it's just maybe your friends and close families. But the biggest underrated outlier in Facebook are just Facebook groups. And that's what I usually use a lot more. And I've noticed that public engagement works best in those groups. So, for example, on AI or on Twitter, for example, we do have some communities, but I think a lot of people just end up just posting it on their own timeline, and sometimes the algorithm works in mysterious ways. But on Facebook, there are like tons of AI communities and groups, and they can grow consistently well. Like I probably mentioned before, one of my favorite ones are like Cursed AI, has over 1 million um, users there. There's AI Art Universe, over 1 million users. Also a moderator there, so it's good to get in there to be a moderator to see how the engagement's working and what people are doing. And I always
Do you
find,
have, sorry to interrupt
yeah,
you, but do you have your own group on there yet?
yeah, I do. Like honestly, again, it's one of those things. I feel like I'm pivoting out so much, and either I have to not upscale, but uh, you
You
know,
got to get after it. So like the groups are super powerful on Facebook. Totally agree with you. Like there's some groups on there that's the only reason I go to Facebook for, is because it's just like so hilarious and so fun.
mhm.
Um, so yeah, go after it with like, you want to do video content or whatever, put that in there. And if it's monetized, boom, and share that out. I think
Yeah.
that's a great approach.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just like how you mentioned before for yourself with StreamYard, like you already have a community that's already in contact and they're growing. So it's so hard to move out to something else and kind of reestablish that unless you already have a good flow with what you're going already. So I do have some groups, but it's just so hard for me to maintain, just because I have so many different things going on. I'm just like burning myself out. So there's groups that I enjoy going to anyways, like Cursed, AR, Universal, that stuff. So I let whoever's working on that do their thing, because I like to go into those communities and just share. And then just like here on your timeline, it does feel pretty personal that we kind of know each other in that virtual sense. I do feel very familiar with everyone. And then, going in those communities as well, they start to notice it. And then you do get a little subtitle on your profile about what you're popular for, or like all-star contributor, or like most notified for this and this or whatever, or badges and stuff. So those things tend to help when pushing things out. And the one thing I just wanted to mention really quickly is like, so on Twitter, people with news and stuff, it's so up to date, and then you have to obviously share as quickly as you can. And then, in the ed community, 5 out of 6 people are kind of sharing the same news, either reposting or just like reiterating the news. But on Facebook, everything is like two steps back. You don't necessarily get all the up to date news, especially in Canada, because they block all the news, unfortunately, which is just crazy. But like there is an interesting process for anyone who is interested in using Facebook, that there's so much interesting news that comes out like immediately on Twitter, and you can just as easily share that on Facebook into these groups, and you can definitely find a community of people who are like really looking and searching for stuff. I just find the AI community in here, they're already like pretty have their hands on a lot of tools. They're doing really great stuff. I find like the top AI creators are definitely here, and there's a lot of people there, in a million user group who are just joining in, or just trying to figure out what's going on, and they're just hungry for these types of knowledge, tips, and resources and stuff like that. So for myself, I'm trying to find a middle ground. I do find obviously there's a lot of value in giving these resources and stuff. On the other side of myself as a creator, I just love to just focus on creating visuals or videos and stuff like that. So finding that balance of
Yeah.
working that out.
I'm going to be wrapping the space up. I don't want to interrupt you because it's like, this is such a topic that I absolutely love. So I might make this a topic that we can get into in like the next space, specifically about other platforms. Like, how do you cross platform, like, with all this stuff, because it's such a great point with a lot of what is on X. It's like immediate. You can be the first to know about something. Like me, I can be the first to know about something and the first to post about it on Facebook or on Instagram or something. That I could do that, and any of us could do that in whatever subject it is that we're interested in, getting that live update. But specifically with technology and AI and all this stuff, it's just like, it's here, right? And so that's very powerful content, especially if you have a engaged audience on another platform that is also monetized. Like, you can bring that and you can adapt it in a way that is, and I've suggested this to Christopher before, where he, a new tool, AI tool comes out, be the one who tests it, make a funny video, make a cool video, make it in your style, whatever, testing out the tool, and then showcasing it and giving your review. And you can do that fairly quickly these days, with screen sharing and creating a video, just short, quick, introducing this new tool that's going to be, it's a buzz on X. So it's going to be in the next day or two a buzz on Instagram and Facebook and other places. So now you can create that content very quickly in your style, in your voice, and have something that is also buzzworthy and get that trending aspect. So it's super powerful. I'd love to talk about it more in another space. So that's going to be on the back burner. I want to talk about that absolutely, because I think that's very powerful, because there's a lot of people here coming to X that are very big on other platforms. I see them wander in here from time to time, wherever they are, wherever they're getting their impressions, wherever they have their following. But they do understand that, okay, if I want the latest, the greatest, what's happening, what's new, it's here. And so how do you manage that? And then also someone like me who's, okay, my main platform is X and my other ones are kind of my auxiliary ones that I'm not really paying attention to much. Like, how can I, maybe engage with that more and build more off of on other networks. So yeah, this is very fascinating to me, but I gotta go. I mean, we have I boy, do I want to just do spaces for 9 hours a day. Like, I tell you, I would love to do that. But my wonderful co-host here, Christopher, had to go, but we have a lot of exciting things coming up, me and him, far as like AI content and stuff. So be sure you're following us if that's interesting to you. And then Rich is also making, like, he took a little bit of a winter break, like I did. And so I'm really excited for what Rich has coming up. So please share anything you want to share, Rich. You've been kind of quiet today, but that's okay. I don't mind. I'm not pointing that out as a bad thing, but I want to make sure you have a chance to say anything that you want to add, if you'd like, and then we'll wrap the space up.
Well, thank you, Kate. You're always so gracious. No, I don't have anything specific to add. Yeah, I did take a bit of a winter break, so I'm just kind of slowly pulling myself out of that break mindset and getting back into go mode, trying to get back into the grind. I'm working on adding new products to my website, and I'm working on sort of an ad campaign for that. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to post it later today. Just something simple that highlights kind of different things I have for sale on my website. But yeah, it's been a great space. It's always great sitting up here with you. It was great sitting with Christopher, and it's always wonderful hearing from everybody who comes up and chats with us.
Yeah, thanks so much. And that would be a fantastic thing to report back about your, when you start posting about the products that you're doing and any ads that you're running and stuff on X or anywhere else, just giving us like an update of how that goes for you and everything like that. Because I think that's something a lot of us maybe haven't considered on this platform as a way to reach people about a specific project. Maybe selling something like you are, or even if it isn't something you're selling, like, or maybe, thinking about a space as like a webinar. Could we advertise something like that? That approach. That kind of interests me too. So it might be topic down the road after you experiment with it. We could get into more because I've done lots of ad campaigns and everything on Facebook, and some a little bit on Google and YouTube and kind of Instagram, but not really. I have my qualms with that. So it's definitely a topic I can get into if that's something you want to down the road. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, sorry.
No, I was trying to hit my mute button and it wouldn't unmute. I was just gonna say, yeah, that would be interesting.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks so much, everybody, for hanging out today. So this is a weekly space we do. We've ran a little bit late today, but when the conversation's good and engaging, I kind of let it spill over. But we usually go from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern time, Eastern Standard Time. So you can look out for that space. If you are in the Collaboration Station community, you should get those notifications, but it's always good to set a reminder. And then we also, when you are on the app, and you set a reminder for a space, you can add it to calendar. That's very useful too, because I've noticed personally, I'm not getting notifications for spaces that I set reminders for. It's kind of frustrating. So they're probably making tweaks to things. So I always do ones that I definitely want to be attending and be reminded about. I do that add to calendar feature. So don't sleep on that. I also have my website where I do update everything that I'm doing. I am going to 2025. My goal is to start my newsletter, and my newsletter will just be news, basically what I'm doing. So if you want to keep up with what I have going on, where I have my spaces, live streams, what topics I'm going to be covering and getting into, if I'm like a guest co-host or a co-host on another space, all the things that I'm dabbling in, that's where I'm going to be pushing that out besides just on my X feed. So if you're not, so you don't have to have notifications on for me. I'd love it if you did, but I understand that can be a burden, having notifications on for people on X, especially if there's certain accounts, like big accounts that you want to follow and get the news from. And then you have other accounts that mixed in there, it's easy to lose track of people's content. So my website is a great place to do that, to get those, sign up for the email list, and then you'll get that stuff in your inbox. So that's just through my profile. You can click the link and you'll easily find where to sign up for that. So that will be coming out this month. I'll try and do that weekly or bi-weekly. And so that's it for me. Lots of exciting things coming up. We'll be having the space on Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. That's our second weekly space where it's just basically a general hangout. Keep it pretty casual. We get into a topic or theme, have a little fun poll going to keep everybody interested. So I hope you can make it for that one. And let's see, I think that's it. What do I forget? I always forget something, but I just want to say thank you to everybody who joined. And I hope to see you in the next space. Have a great day, everybody. See you out there.